Good morning, and today we are starting the lesson. Page number 8 from Vista's textbook. You can also take the Tiger King. So, tiger, we have some connectivity with that, right? Tiger and Jennifer's tigers, tiger in the zoo, and we have also come across in our lesson 10th standard, even in 12th standard also, and Jennifer's tiger. So, tiger's images, and it is something majestic and elegant. So, prance are crossing over. We have come across too many things, but Tiger King. When you are being asked a question, who's the king of the forest, you can simply say that the king of the forest is lion. But Tiger King, so something hilarious. They're always saying, instead of, yeah, you can also take a dog the named Tiger. The tiger you come, likewise the owner of the dog will call. We know very well it is tiger, but we are naming the we know very well it is a dog, and but the owner of the dog is naming that tiger. So something while looking at that, the dog is very, it's like lanky and of course thinny, and it's like paper seeming boy like a paper seeming like the dog, but the owner is calling the dog as tiger. So some hilarious concept. What is the meaning hilarious? Or we can also maybe just like entertaining. We are also always saying that like entertaining. You can also see that the Tiger King by Kalki. Tiger King by Kalki. You can also see the images of the tigers, and there is a king named Tiger King. There is a king in that particular place, Pradibandhapuram. Pradibandhapuram, in that particular place, who ruled the Tiger King. That was his pet name. Some reasons he was coined like that. He was named like that, Tiger King. He had different names, just like Raja Adiraja, Raja Gulatana, Raja Matana, Raja Kambira, Raja Katabura. Likewise, too many things he had, right? But anyhow, he was named like the Tiger King. So the connectivity with that, you can also see the king. The king is named the Tiger King, or we can also take in this way. Then tiger hunting. Mrs. Packletized tiger. In English communicative in 10th standard, there is a lesson. Now we are all not using English communicative. Instead, we are going for language and literature. Right, in English communicative there is a lesson, Mrs. Packletized tiger, like and Jennifer's tigers. Mrs. Packletized tiger hunting was an episode, because here also the ultimate aim of the lesson is hunting tigers. How many we will discuss, right? How many we will discuss. Now you can see that Kalki, our author of the lesson, or we can take that Kalki is a pet name. We will also discuss about Kalki later. Or we can also say that Kalki's real name, Ramasamy Iyer Krishnamurthy. Ramasamy Iyer Krishnamurthy, and he was born on 9th September 1899 and died on, of course, 5th December 1954. 1954, and better known by his pen name Kalki. This is a pen name of Kalki Ramasamy Iyer Krishnamurthy. Was a Tamil writer, journalist, and of course poet and critic. So here Ramasamy Iyer Krishnamurthy was born on 9th September 1899 and of course died on 5th December 1954, and he was better known by his pen name Kalki, and he was a Tamil writer, journalist, poet, and of course critic. Right. The remaining things we will discuss. Take your textbook. The Tiger King. This is what I want to convey. So you can also remember that the Tiger King. Tiger King is very famous in Pradibandhapuram. Right, so before you read, what is the general attitude of human beings towards wild animals? Wild animals, while looking at wild animals, what is your idea? Of course, we will be threatened, like we will be also panic. We will also run away when we are. I think we have come across, we have seen 23rd Pulikesi when that in a particular king, Pulikesi king, when he went and he also met, unfortunately, a viewer, and then how he was reacting and everything we can also remember. So here, what is the general attitude of human beings towards wild animals? We will not kill, right? We will not kill. Maximum we will try to get our survival by escaping or running away from the particular animal, right? We are not considering when we compare with domestic animals. So this is something wild animals. By looking at tiger, by looking at lions, by looking at cheetah, one by one you can also take fox or anything which is cruel, right? That's why it is known as wild. Wild is equal to cruel also we can take. So that's why what is the general attitude of human beings towards wild animal? In my point of view, I can say that we will be threatened by looking at that or when we are nearing, and of course, so we will also run away to get our survival, to escape. We are always that tendency, right? Then that tendency we have, we always put an asylum over us, and of course we are also protecting from those animals when we are meeting that. So here is a story. We can also take that very entertaining story, very simple language. We can also say that the Maharaja Pradibandhapuram is the hero of the story. So you come to know that the protagonist of the story, the Maharaja of Pradibandhapuram. Pradibandhapuram, underline that, is the hero of the story, and he may be identified as His Highness Jamindar General, Hiladar Major, Sata Vyagra Samhari, Maharaja Diraja Vya Vishwa Bhuvana Samrat, Sir Jilani Jangjang Bahadur, MAD, ACTC or CRCK, but this name is often shortened to the Tiger King. So here we already told you Raja Diraja, Raja Gulatanda, Raja Matanda, Katavara. Likewise, I think there was a Shaktiman serial once when we were children. We had a wonderful. Now also you can also even Google. You can also go and search that. Shaktiman is a very famous. There are it's like dual character that the hero Mukesh Khanna acted like. One character is Shaktiman, the hero of it is like superhero. The second part is he was something comedian like. His name whenever he was asked to introduce himself, he used to do that. That means it was like I am Gangadhar, Vidyadhar, Mayadhar, Omkarna Sasti. See, I am Gangadhar. His name was Gangadhar. Then additional names Gangadhar, Mayadhar, Vidyadhar, Omkarna Sasti, likewise. So we have too many names like taking that. So here the Maharaja Pradibandhapuram is the hero of the story. He may be identified as His Highness. Highness, that means whatever it is. It's like Jamindar General, Hiladar Major, and Sata Vyagra Samhari, Maharaja the Raja Visva Bhuvana Samrat. Samrat, you also heard the word Samrat, right? You heard the word. And then very famous name, apart from all those things, Sir Jilani Jangjang Bahadur. Sir Jilani Jangjang Bahadur. Then MAD, ACTC, or CRCK, but this name is often shortened to the Tiger King. So we are taking the name of the protagonist as Tiger King. I have come here. I underline the word and write the narrator of the story, Kalki or Ramaswamy Iyer Krishnamurti. You can also write. I have come forward to tell you why he came to be. He came to be known as Tiger King. Sometimes it is like whenever we are giving a pet name, right, or pen name, some fictitious name, some additional names. When, for an example, superstar. Before that, he was a conductor. Likewise, ultimate star. He was a worker and he was an employee. Like we are giving additional names, right? We are giving additional names. It has a reason. So I have come forward to tell you why he came to be known as Tiger King. What are the reasons? I have no intention to pretending to advance only to end in a strategic withdrawal. Even the threat of a Stuka bomber will not throw me off track. The Stuka, if it likes, can beat a hasty retreat from my story. And he is telling that something, here. I have no intention of pretending. Underline the word. What is the meaning of pretending? It is like exaggerating. I'm not acting. I have no that intention of pretending and of course overstretching about the king, the tiger, at the Tiger King. So here I have come forward to tell you why he came to be known as the Tiger King. So before he was just giving some interest among he was just bringing or creating some interest among the readers. And too many names, like here you can also see that Jamindar General or Kiladar Major or Sada Vyagra Samari or Maharaja the Raja Vispa Bhuvana Samrat. While looking at that, we will also, while hearing that, we will also be induced. Likewise, that's why. But all those names, instead of all those names, he was known as Tiger King simply. What was the reason, sir? He was creating enthusiasm among the readers. That's why here I have come forward to tell you why he came to be known as the Tiger King. And of course, I have no intention. What is the meaning intention? That is my, expression. That is my idea. I have no intention of pretending. Pretending, that means acting to advance, only to end in the strategic withdrawal. Underline the word strategic withdrawal. Maybe tactical. Strategic means tactical withdrawal. No, I'm not just pleasing. I'm not just exaggerating. he was known as Tiger King by that particular reason. No, not like that. Even the threat of a Stuka bomber, you underline the word Stuka. Stuka is German bomber aircraft which was in World War II. It was used. It was something very big one. So it is threatening through a bomb, right? It is bomber. You can also write that Stuka bomb. So even the thread of Stuka bomb, if it is also when you are even throwing me off also, I will not get fear because I have courage, I have interest. Whatever happens to me doesn't matter for me because I am very much happy about explaining to the readers who's the Tiger King. So even the thread of you can have close to bracket even to my story, even the thread of a Stuka bomber used in that is from Stuka from named or from Germany or a German bomber aircraft which was used in World War II, very famous, right? So even the threat, that means threatening me. So even the threat of Stuka bomber will not throw me off track. That means even the Stuka also will not disturb me. If it is also coming towards me, also I will not fear because I am talking about the Tiger King. The Stuka, if it likes, can beat a hasty. Underline the word hasty means very speedy and retreat. That means that also go with fear while looking at the Tiger King. So I don't worry about that. I don't have fear about Stuka bombers. The Stuka, if it likes, can be the hasty retreat from my story. That means I am very much happy. I am proud to describe about the Tiger King. So nothing will disturb me, right? Right at the start, it is my imperative to disclose a matter of vital importance about the Tiger King. Imperative, underline the word. What is the meaning imperative? So here underline the word, maybe essential. Imperative means you write essential / crucial or vital. And he also continued. He started. So from I have come forward to tell you why he came to be known as Tiger King. I have no intention of pretending to advance, only to end in a strategic withdrawal. Even the threat of a Stuka bomber will not throw me off track. The Stuka, if it is like, can beat a hasty retreat from my story, and also it will also get the story from me. Like you can also see. That means paragraph second. You can also see. He further promises the reader that he will not go back on his promise, even if he is under the threat of an attack by a Stuka bomber aircraft. Instead, he says that the Stuka can go back because he is not scared of it, and he will tell the reader why the king was called the Tiger King. This is explanation of the meaning. That means even to my story. That even you can have close to bracket, and if you wish you can also write. He further promises the reader that he will not go back on his promise because already he promised, right? To explain what was the name, what was the things behind that particular name, the Tiger King. So instead of too many names. So he further promises the reader that he will not go back on his promise even if he is under the threat of an attack by a Stuka bomber aircraft. You understand that? So instead he says that the Stuka can go back. You understand because he was representing the Tiger King while looking at Tiger King and Tiger King's representative. Even the Stuka bomb also will go away because of the king's courage and of course braveness. So instead, he says that the Stuka can go back because he is not scared of it, and he will tell the reader why the king was called the Tiger King. Right? So right at the start, it is imperative. Imperative in the sense essential or vital or crucial to disclose a matter. Underline. What is the meaning disclose? Disclose means sharing or opening. Disclose a matter of, you can underline the word disclose. Close means close. Disclose opposite. So open. So to open a matter, reveal a matter of vital importance. You know what is the meaning? Vital importance. Vital means very, very important, right? Essence. So vital importance about the Tiger King. And everyone who reads of him will experience a natural desire to meet a man of his indomitable courage face to face. That means creating enthusiasm among the readers. But the end will be very humorous and entertaining. We will be also laughing in the end of the story, at the end of the story. But in the beginning, in the introduction, we will also give some build up, right? Too many things. We are just overstretching, like that means exaggerating. So he also, the narrator also, everyone who reads of him will experience a natural desire. That means, while reading about the particular, for an example, when we are talking or reading about Alexander the Great, we have our own interest to meet a person like Mr. Alexander the Great, right? Likewise, we can also some famous characters are Joseph Stalin, or we can also Winston Churchill, or Abraham Lincoln, John F. Kennedy, or even from our India, right? We are taking Subhash Chandra Bose, Mahatma Gandhi, and of course M. Kumaran, I think Tirupur Kumaran, and too many names we have, too many characters we wanna meet, like. So here, everyone who reads of him will experience the natural desire to meet a man of his indomitable. Underline the word indomitable, means unbeatable. Unbeatable means very courage, and of course, indomitable means unbeatable, impossible to subdue. Courage he possessed, right? Face to face. Nobody will, they wanted, those who are reading about him, they wanted to see face to face that particular personality because of the courage he possessed, right? But there is no chance of its fulfillment. That means, he was demanded. It is not easy, it is not very easy to meet a person like the Tiger King, but that there is no chance of its fulfillment. Underline the word, that meeting the particular person or personality. For an example, you can also take another incident from, as Bharata said to Rama about, that means something is from our scriptures, like eh, we are taking that some epic stories, like epics. What is the meaning epic? Ithikasam, so on. So about, as Bharata, you can have close to bracket, you can also do that. As Bharata said to Rama about Tasarada, underline the word, historical example, hyphen and write a historical example, as that this Tiger King also did. So Tasara, while when he was living the world, like we are taking. As Bharata said to Rama, actually it is an example. You don't want to concentrate much. You don't want. As Bharata said to Rama about Dasarada, the Tiger King has reached the final abode of all living creatures. In other words, the Tiger King is dead. So when Dasara was about to die, and here Bharata said to Rama that is destination. As here we are taking, the Tiger King has reached that final abode. Underline the word abode and right. That means his destination. What is the meaning destination? The reaching point, maybe death, maybe the last stage, death, last moment. The Tiger King has reached that final abode of all living creatures. In other words, simply we can say that the Tiger King is dead. What is this, sir? Now you are starting the lesson and simply you just killed the Tiger King. Not like that. That means from an epic, the narrator is giving an example, like, so as Bharata said to Rama about Dasarada when he was about to die, or when he died, the Tiger King, consider the Tiger King as compared with Dasarada, the Tiger King has reached the final abode of all living creatures. That means, in other words, we can say that the Tiger King is dead, like Dasarada did. Right? We can continue. You can just leave that matter. Then we can also continue. What is the story? The manner of his death is a matter of extraordinary, of course. So we got an idea that the Tiger King is dead. Then what was the manner? What was the manner? The manner of his death is a matter of extraordinary interest. Underline the word extraordinary interest, or we can also take that. That means something is peculiar. Something is peculiar. We are usually human beings are passing by, or we are taking that passed away. Human beings passed away by maybe natural, or we can go for some diseases or some. We can also take some reasons, right? It's very normal, but the manner of his death, underline his here, we are taking Tiger King's death is a matter of extraordinary interest. Something is, we will also get what was the interest. It can be revealed only at the end of the tale. Underline the word end of the tale in the sense end of the story. That means, here we are taking some different element we are taking. The manner of his death is a matter of extraordinary interest. It can be revealed only at the end of the tale. The most fantastic aspect of his demise was that as soon as he was gone, astrologers had foretold that one day the Tiger King would actually have to die. It's very common for all, right? So you can take that it can be revealed at the end of the story, at the end of the story only. That means, the manner of his death, that was an extraordinary interest. So we need some patience. We need our patience to get final conclusion of the story. The most fantastic aspect of his demise, underline the word, what is the meaning demise? Demise means death, was that as soon as he was born as a child, right? Infant, we are saying we are saying that infant means that very very tender and of course very soft. The the very first impression of a child we are taking there. The most fantastic aspect of his demise was that as soon as he was born, astrologers, something, we will also do some, we will also go to the astrologer, and we will also calculate the time, calculate the stars, and we will also write a record, and all the parents are keeping, like, that will follow when how much ever they are just going forward. Likewise astrologers, since he was uh, prince, you understand that since he was a prince, and of course when he was born, astrologers came and they started to calculate all those things, and had foretold, what is the meaning foretold means predicted, that one day the tiger king would actually have to die. It is not something prediction, it is destiny, it's by almighty. When a bonus, when a person is, when a human being, or when a person is getting his born, like we are taking that means birth. Of course, that particular personality we can take either male or female, or we can take baby boy or baby girl, and it is something, and it is a beginning for us death life. And of course, immediately after the birth, the particular spirit is walking, or going forward towards us death. That's all. No, we have only two and destination. We are taking something, and of course, birth and death. It's ultimate. But they just predicted and foretold that one day the tiger king would actually have to die. But what was something different, the child will grow up to become the warrior of warriors, hero of heroes, champion of champions, but they bit their lips and swallowed hard. When compelled to continue, the astrologer came out with that this is a secret which should not be revealed at all, and yet we are forced to speak out. The child born under the star will one day have to meet its death. Again and again they were just giving some peculiar strange things, like, and they were also hiding too many things from the kingdom, right? You understand that? So here the most fantastic aspect of his demise was that as soon as he was born, astrologers had predicted and foretold that one day the tiger king would actually have to die, right? The child will grow up to become the warrior of warriors. It's like, warrior of warriors, hero of heroes, champion of champions. But they bit their lips, in the sense they were unable to continue, and swallowed hard, in the sense they were. It's like in Tamil சொல்லுவாங்க எச்சி முழுங்கிட்டு இருக்காங்க. They were not very much happy to convey a very bitter experience, bitter message, that when they were compelled to continue, the astrologers came out with that, and they also revealed the secret. This is a secret which should not be revealed at all. Please don't discuss with others, and yet we are forced to speak out. The child born under this particular star, underline that. What was the star? I will tell you. Will one day have to meet its death. At the very moment a great miracle took place. You understand that's why he was just creating, the narrator is creating curiosity among the readers. At that very moment a great miracle took place. An astonishing phrase emerged from the lips of the 10-day-old, just a 10-day-old Jilani Jangjang Bagadur, our tiger king, oh wise prophets. Something the child just pronounced when they were just uh, babbling like anything. This is a secret which should not be revealed at all, and yet we are forced to speak out. The child born under this particular star will one day have to meet its death. That's time unable to control the child. That's why the child, that was a miracle, right? A 10-day-old child, how is it possible? Of course, will not speak. But anyhow, it pronounced. That's why emerged, something, amazing phrase emerges from the lips of the 10-day-old Jilani Jangjang Bagadur, oh wise prophets. And it is like, criticizing, like, oh wise prophets. Which was the wise prophets? That means, the secret they revealed. And everyone stood transfixed, underline the word. What is the meaning transfixed? Means maybe surprised. You underline the word. Surprised, and they also started to look at very keenly that particular child prophet, right? Everyone stood transfixed in stupefaction, underline the stupor, stupefaction means, that means amazement, surprise. They were stunned by the pronunciation, that means the words from the child, 10-day-old child. How is it possible? So that only when it pronounced, oh wise prophet, everyone stood transfixed in stupefaction, that means surprise or amazement, and they looked wild at each other and blinked. You know what is the meaning, blinked? And they were unable to even believe their even eyes also. That's why each one started to look at. Oh wise prophets, it was I who spoke. The child again started to speak. Oh wise prophets. That means, what was the wise prophets? The child born under the star will one day have to meet its death. Whatever the star, it doesn't matter. When a human being is born, that's all. He has to go, or she has to go towards death. That's all. It is very common. It is something already told in different ways. But what is this like? Oh, wise prophets, in the sense, it's like criticizing. You understand that it is like, or it is like irony. He used that. The child used irony, ironical or satirical, like, oh, wise prophet. It was I who spoke. This time there were no grounds for doubt. It was the infant born just 10 days old ago who had enunciated the words. Enunciated, underline the word. What is the meaning enunciated? Here pronounced, told. The word so clearly. The chief astrologer took off his spectacles and gazed intently at the baby. So all those who are born will one day have to die. The child was narrating that. You can underline. All those who are born will one day have to die. What is this? Oh, wise prophet. Something you predicted. I am going to get my destination. Those who are born. So here he was mentioning that, the child was mentioning that, you can see all those who are born will one day have to die. We don't need your predictions to know that. There would be some sense in it if you could tell us the manner of the death. The royal infant uttered these words in his little squeaky voice. That the child was asking that. The child was also demanding what was the manner of the death. That's why here you can also see, as Bharata said to Rama about Dasharatha, the Tiger King has reached the final abode of all living creatures. In other words, the Tiger King is dead. The narrator is creating, curiosity among the readers. The manner of his death is a matter of extraordinary impact, something extraordinary interest, and that's why here the child also was demanding that you could say the sense. That means the manner. There would be some sense in it if you could tell us the manner of the death. That will be benefit. Please don't predict something and say that I will get my destination. That means end my death. Everybody has to do that. Nobody can escape from death. But I am asking the manner. 10-day-old child. You understand that it's an infant, but it was asking that. So the chief astrologer placed his finger on his nose in wonder, something ஆச்சரியம். மூக்கு மேல விரல வச்சுட்டு பார்க்குறோம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவோம் in our term. The chief astrologer placed his fingers on his nose in wonder. A baby barely 10 days old opens its lips in speech. Not only that, it also raises intelligent questions. Incredible. Underline the word. What that can't be even believed. Incredible. And rather like the bulletins issued by the war office than facts. Something it was incredible. So it's like a king. Infant was asking. The chief astrologer took his finger off his nose and fixed his eyes upon the little prince. The prince was born in the heart of the bull. That is the secret. The star, you underline the complete sentence. The prince was born in the heart of the bull. The bull and the tiger are enemies. Therefore, death comes from the tiger. He explained. That's why he was known as Tiger King. We will just close that, right? The prince and of course the chief astrologer took his fingers off his nose and fixed his eyes upon the little prince, and he was revealing the secret, the manner of his death. And of course for that he was also giving a reason. The prince was born in the, you were something, you were born. So the prince was born in the heart of the bull. Yeah, maybe we can take something related to his timing, birth timing, and of course star and all those things, calculations. Heart of the bull. The bull and the tigers are enemies. Therefore, your death, comes from the tiger. He explained very clearly. Up to that, we can pass. Remaining, we will continue tomorrow.